Shalom, shalom, mishpachah. Pray all is well with each and every one of you. Hallelujah. Yahuwah is Thub. He is worthy to be praised. I have been praying and seeking Yah when I could kind of release some of this stuff. And I'm going to release a little bit today. Kabod to Yahuwah. Two wrongs don't ever make a right. And I speak from a place of experience and failure. Just because someone wronged you doesn't give you right to act carnally. If you act carnally, you have now defiled yourself. The Ruach, the spirit of defense or offense, will destroy you, and it corrupts you, and you end up so blinded by your hurt, by your pain, and then it becomes pride and justification. Because when we're hurt, we're like, well, I'm right, so that I'm right becomes pride, and that pride corrupts you. So now when you're trying to pray to Yah, your prayers aren't going to be answered the way you want them to be because you're defiled. We have to own up to us. And the best gift that I can give anybody is that it all starts within. And what I mean by that is, like, everything that you go through, everything that happens, it's an opportunity to self-reflect. It's an opportunity to say, yeah, what do I need to what do I need to purge? What do I need to uproot? What is allowing this satanic, demonic spirit into my life? And that's what a lot of people want to skip and avoid and just project. And I was guilty of this as well until Yah sat me down and said, you're wrong, honey. Like, you're so wrong, my daughter. And I'm like, okay. Y'all like showed me. I ain't gonna go into all the list, but it's hard, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie. It's hard when you have to see all the ugly in yourself, and that's what people don't want to do. So a lot of people, they try to avoid seeing the ugly in themselves. So they just project, pretend, talk about everybody else, and then never look at themselves. Never realize, what did I do to get myself in this situation? What is Yah trying to teach me in this situation? What do I need to purge to rise above this situation? That's the real work. That's when you gonna like see victory. When you start seeing the ugly. And for me, it's like when I see it, it's like you get like a lethargic. It's like almost overwhelming at first. I'm so far from you, yeah. Like, it's kind of overwhelming. You start renouncing, denouncing, praying against, confessing, like closing the doors of the demonic spirits that you've opened, uprooting things in your past. And then it's like overwhelming. Like, you still feel, sometimes you feel like, am I even worthy? But when you do these things, that Yah will lift that off of you. Because I've seen it in myself. Like, I have been going through, and I've seen myself get closer to the other side, and I haven't arrived, obviously will never arrive, but am I overcoming certain things? Yes, all glory to Yahuwah. And so we have to fight this flesh daily, because our flesh will just always try to rise up. The thing that is most important, though, is when you start doing this, you're freeing yourself of demonic soul ties, demonic covenants, demonic doorways where they're able to jump in and out. And when you free yourself of these things, Yah does the rest. He does the rest. When we confess us, He'll do the rest. We're not supposed to always, and this is what I see so much, and it's kind of disturbing. Like, people, we're just talking about this and talking about that, and it's like bashing this, bashing that. Where's the deliverance? If we're Yah's chosen, where's the, we need to be at a point where, as Yah's chosen, basically his gifts, his miracles should follow us. So we're saying this person's this person's that, right? But who are we? If we are chosen, then those gifts should follow us in our marriages. It should follow us in our families. It should follow us in our homes. Like, it should follow us wherever we go. Like, the demonic will flee. Like, Yahusha, the demonic wasn't trying to come upon you, Yahusha. They're like, why are you here, Yahusha? Like, we don't want no smoke with you. It ain't our time yet. So it's like, that's how we need to be. Like, the demonic is like, I ain't even trying to mess with her. Like, I don't want no smoke. Like, that's how we're supposed to be. But that, you only get that in a secret place. You only get that when the Kabod who will rest upon you in a mighty way. That's what we should strive to do. And stop talking about a lot of things and start praying about more things. Because it's prayer that changes things. It's that secret place. The anointing of Yahuwah is that the thing that breaks the yoke. So fasting and prayer, like, that's what I'm on. It's like fasting, prayer, self-examination. We say self-examination as a catchphrase. Now, like, seriously, do the self-examination. Like, stop talking about other people. Seriously, let's do the self-examination. Because it's like so easy to say that and you ain't doing it. It's so easy to say self-examination, but you don't have none because you blind. Pride blinds you. And yeah, it unblind me. And that's why I could say it with so much, like, I know it. It's like, I didn't even realize I was walking in pride. Because it was like, well, I was right. So, yeah, like, no, you were, when did you consult me about this? When did you consult me about that? When we get so like, I'm right, so then we move haughty. Then we like, I'm right, and then we stop consulting Yah. So we ended up outside of the will of Yah. Like, it's very dangerous. Pride is the most dangerous. And when I started doing praying against the spirit of Leviathan, which is the king of pride, I realized, and I believe it's because I was so heavy in war with that Yah showed me myself. Those things are it can be very blatant, but it can also be very subtle. Pride is so subtle at times, so manipulative at times, so discreet at times. And it's like, two wrongs don't ever make it right. So it's like, if we see a lot, and I've talked about this before, we get all into the disorders and start, narcissism and this, and, it's like we could talk about that all day. But if we have Yah's Ruach, we need to be able to be delivering people. We need to be able to be delivering ourselves. Yah didn't create us to be tormented by demons. So it's like, if you're being tormented by demons, the honest truth is you have a doorway. And I'm just going to be as honest as possible. People who end up in stuff like that, there's a doorway. There's something that wasn't uprooted. There's something that allowed. We like to compare ourselves to Yosef. We like to compare ourselves to Job. We ain't moving like that. I'm just gonna be real. We ain't moving on their level. They was righteous beyond us. And even if when you read Ezra's, it's like we're lesser people. Like, Yah's greatest, he gave like the earth. Adam and Eve were the closest to Yah, and the more time goes on, the less virtue people are born with. In the last days, it's going to take the Ruach of Yahuwah to restore us, as we're far from Yah. So we like to compare ourselves to these situations, but we ain't even on that way. We have so much sin that it's like, it's corrupted us, and it's defiled us as people. And that's why we have to be very careful. And I also want to talk about deliverance and stuff like that, and spiritual warfare. A lot of times, if you are not cleansed, you be moving. It could be witchcraft. We must cleanse ourselves and make sure that we're not operating in witchcraft. The enemy, I'm telling you like this. The enemy is slick, so slick. How someone who have adultery, or I ain't gonna say adultery, but let's say they have lust. They have a demon of lust on them. Then they praying for you. They passing that spirit to you. It's very dangerous. Lay your hands on no man suddenly. When you really have the Kabod of Yahuwah, you might not even have to lay hands on a person. Shaul and Kiefer, they were being healed by their shadow, by their handkerchiefs, all kinds of stuff. So, just be very mindful of it. It's within, it's cleansing, it's disciplining ourselves in the spirit. And that's what I've really been on. I haven't been doing videos like me talking very much, because it has me cleansing and purging myself. I believe the word, we are washed by the word. It's important to stay in our word. It's important to fast and pray. And it's important to cleanse and be honest. Stop looking at others and start looking within. As much as we can say all 9 things are the other person want, well, look at the one thing that's you then. Because that one thing that's you is probably the doorway. So it's really a tough lesson, but it's a real lesson. We can't esteem ourselves above nobody, and we gotta stay on our face and have our face to the ground. And y'all had to break me. He had to really break me. We just have to keep our face to the ground and start, every time we see something that somebody that don't feel right. Yeah, what do I need to pray on it? What do I need to do? Because it's we're too much complaining about this and that, but we're not praying and doing deliverance or spiritual honesty and self-examination. So that's what's preventing a lot of miracles. That's what's preventing a lot of breakthrough, is the haughtiness and the pride. He doesn't answer he hates that pride and the haughty. So he ain't gonna answer us. When we really, really humble ourselves, when we start seeing the ugliness within ourselves, that's when he can answer. And that's what I got, y'all. So just want to say that I love y'all. Shalom. Pray y'all have a wonderful Shabbat.